Today we're going to talk about mental handcuffs. That's right, mental handcuffs. And the reason why I call it mental handcuffs is because I personally have experienced the hold of these handcuffs. Let me explain. For the longest time, for too long, and I want to look at the silver lining and say, hey man, things are meant to be. Things are meant to be, you know what I mean? Like patience. And that's the common sense logic, right? Like where it's like, man, why did I waste so many years just kind of almost trapped? Where what if I was not trapped? How far could I have gone? How far could I be today? And I'm one for the message of never to dwell on your past, but at the same time, the only thing that you should really dwell on is basically time that you wasted. And I want to make sure that you don't waste that time. I want to make sure that you avoid the pitfalls that unfortunately I had to go through. And my way of giving back to the community hustle, because I've been blessed. My family is blessed today. I'm blessed today. I remember the days that I used to pray for the things that I have today. So I'm destined to give it back and pay it forward and share with you my experiences so that you don't catch yourself in the future regretting any missed time or missed opportunity.
Yeah, you supermodel thing. Got that ass busting out the bottom. I'ma lose my mind in it. I'ma do la obligado.
The reason why I'm calling this episode Mental Handcuffs is because there are many things that anchor us down mentally, but one main thing, in my opinion, in my opinion, this is probably the absolute greatest handcuff of all time. And if you want to know how to unlock these handcuffs so you can fly, stick around, because I'm going to share with you in this message in this video. Now, today is Tuesday, July 17th, and I just did a post on my Instagram, right? Because I'm really trying to brand and personalize the accounts across all platforms, not just Instagram, but also LinkedIn and Facebook. And ultimately in the future, that I plan to fuse them together. But the post that I put on Instagram went something like this. I myself am living proof that it's not what zip code you grew up in. It's not what circumstance you came from that defines you. What defines you is where your mindset is and actions are destined to take you. Meaning it's where your heart wants to go. It's where your heart is destined to take you. Now I say heart, not like, not like the muscle. What I'm talking about is your passion, is what you believe is you. It's your inner dialogue where you believe and where you aspire to go. Now, I don't want to get all Confucius on you and shit, but what I'm talking about is I myself am living proof, from going in the street corner to a corner office, from going from rock bottom to executive suites, from going from, like literally, like where I came from, my circumstance, I should not be where I'm at today. I should not. Look, you can hear the way I talk. I don't sound like most of the people that you're probably around on an everyday basis. I don't sound like the type of individual that owns an amazing house in Orange County, that drives and owns 2 cars, that can afford the lifestyle that enables, the family to live like we do. And I want to share with you how I got there, because I think that you could get there too if you really want it. And that's how the post went. The post basically ended up like this. It ended like this. It said, if you want it, then prove it. You know what I mean? Go get it. Find out how to get there and go get it. And so, thinking back, when I first got into the professional sales industry that I'm in today, and for those of you who don't know, and if this is your first time visiting the channel, I appreciate your time thus far, but I work in real estate, and the profession that I have, you need to be licensed. You need to be federally licensed. And when you get federally licensed, they do a massive background check. They do a criminal history check. They do your credit check. And when I got licensed, this is about 2010. And this is literally real close to, when the recession happened. And so I had a lot of things in my past, not only a criminal background, but I had lawsuits, I had judgments, Like I had bankruptcies. I had a lot of things that were supposed to weigh me down and hold me down. If anything, was supposed to ensure that I would not pass and get licensed to do what I do today. But what happened was that in preparing my case in such a way and taking the actions in such a way, like when I submitted my information, I found out who my caseworker was. When I found out who my caseworker was, I found out how to contact them. And when I found out how to contact them, I was on it. Not only that, but I made sure that I did anything and everything possible to increase my chances of getting approved to get licensed, because I had no plan B. I had no other option. My only other option besides doing what I do now, and I do what I do now the absolute best that I can. And more importantly, I'm wired to do what I do now. But where I'm getting at is if I would have gone half-ass, if I would have submitted and say, well, let's just see what happens, then I probably wouldn't have made it. I probably would have not made it if I had not did what I did and did the consistent follow-up, demonstrated the professionalism, went above and beyond, and did, letters of explanation for every single instances that occurred in my past, and explanations as to why these things happen or what happened, and justify how it's not going to happen again. Because I didn't want to accept that it was all up to fate. I didn't want to accept that it was all up to this one person to determine the outcome of my family. I did not want to let it be up to this person to make the decision of whether or not I get to dabble in an industry that I was made for, that like I said, like I'm wired for. This is my language. And having the opportunity to do this and be licensed and be as successful as I am is a true blessing. But the message is this, is that it is not your circumstance. It doesn't matter where you grew up in. It doesn't matter what your name is. It doesn't matter what your sex is, what your ethnicity is, or how you talk or how you look. Look at me, bruh. What matters is how bad you want it. And if you want it bad enough, you're going to take the actions to find out how to get there. You're going to find the map and then take part within that map. You're going to take that journey, regardless of how scary you think that journey is, regardless of how tough you think those obstacles are that are going to come. If you want it, you're going to face it with absolutely no fear. And I got to tell you, if I had a plan B, right, I probably still would have charged as hard, but I probably wouldn't have been as hyper focused. So maybe that's just the ultimate shortcut. Maybe that's just the real hack of it all, is to really accept and believe that there is no plan B. I've grown up that way, and I gotta say, I mean, there's no pressure, like the pressure that you could put upon yourself. There's no desire than the desire than you can create for yourself. And so if you really want something, you can. You could tell based on your actions. Like, people always talk about, I want to get healthy, right? I want to lose a couple pounds. Or I want to, stop smoking cigarettes, or stop smoking herb, or whatever it is, or stop drinking. But at the end of the day, if you really want it, you're going to take the actions to demonstrate that you really want it. And so you see people say, oh man, I need to quit smoking. I need to work out, but they never end up doing it. And the truth is that it's because they don't want change as bad as they want familiarity, meaning that they want comfort more than they want discomfort, more than they want anything that's different. So in other words, they don't want change as bad as they want to stay the same. Make sense? So people stay the same because it's comfortable, it's easy, it's already like made out and shit. It's like the difference between making your own meal and getting served a meal. And so it's nice to go to a restaurant sometimes, but you can't go to a restaurant all the time. You gotta, you know what I mean? You can get fat, playboy. So you have to take the time to actually make your bed. And if you determine how to make your bed, and you're like, man, how the fuck do I make my bed, man? I've had my bed made my entire life. What if I don't know how to make my bed, D? Well, if you don't know how to make your bed, boo-boo, use the resources in front of you and find out how to make your bed, and then wake the fuck up and make your bed. But where I'm getting at is, at some point in time, we're gonna look back, and we're going to be in the future, right? At some point in time, like whether you're watching this today or watching this 5 years from now, you can look back at the day, July 17, 2018, where was I, right? And at some point, whether it's 2023 or 2033, right? You could look back and be like, man, I remember when I watched that video, where was I? where am I at now? And I don't want you to be like some of the people that look back 5-10 years and are like, damn, I didn't really do a damn thing. I didn't really, what the fuck did I do for the last 5-10 years? And the reason why I called this mental handcuffs is because you know what held me back? What held me back was believing that I didn't deserve it, was believing that I wasn't good enough, was believing that I was so hood that I didn't earn what I got to, what I have today. Right? Like, oh man, it's going to be a far stretch to get the things that I have today. When in all reality, boo-boo, it was not. When you follow your passion and when you want it bad enough, this is where the heart comes in. Your heart instinctively pushes you to take the actions that you need. Now, some of those actions are going to be very scary. Some of those actions are going to be like, whoa, bro, am I supposed to do this? But you have to follow your heart. You have to follow your intuition. And so if you do your research and you find out how to make your bed and you realize like, yeah, bro, this is how I'm supposed to make my bed. I know it feels a little weird, but it feels a little weird because I never made my fucking bed before. But now that you're making your bed and now you're taking the actions that you need to whatever it is, you know, I'm using making your bed as a metaphor, but ultimately what I'm talking about is you're basically using the map. So if you do research and you say, hey man, I want to get to destination Z, and the only way to get to destination Z is to take this route right here. Well shit, I'm gonna take this route right here, even though this route right here is way different than the route that I'm currently on, and this route right here is way harder than the motherfucking route that I'm currently on. It requires a lot of sacrifice, it requires a lot of time, a lot of energy, and the crazy thing is, I don't even know if this route right here is gonna be working out for me. But guess what? If you want change more than you want to stay the same, if you want that destination more than you want the destination you're currently on, because you know that the destination or the route that you're currently on leads to a destination that's not where you want to go, then you only got one life. You only got one choice. And so naturally, human instinct, we want to procrastinate and say, man, I'll just take that route maybe next year or in a couple months. Where you fell short is where you would fall short is where I fell short. And at the beginning of this message, I said that I wanted to help you avoid wasting time and wasting years. And my message to you, my punchline to you is that if you want to avoid looking back and regretting not taking the routes or not taking the action or looking back and saying, what the fuck did I do the last 5-10 years? Well, the only way to really avoid that is to trust your intuition and just take that leap. Go get it. If you want to go get it, if you're talking about go get it, make sure your actions back up your words, playboy, and make that shit happen. Man, we have access to the answers that our ancestors did not have. And look what the fuck they did. You know what I mean? They created the fucking internet, right? And so if they had the resources, the opportunities, and the tools that we had today, how much more do you think they would accomplish? Make sure that we serve our ancestors right, and we do this shit right for them. We do it right for the family that we have, and those that rely on our support, right? That rely on us to pave the way for them. So whether you got kids or you're not, or whether you got a family or not, just do it for your damn self, right? Make sure that you're paving the way to attain the things that you pray for today. Because man, when you get there, it feels good. Not only that, but it reassures you and gives you that boost of confidence to let you know that you can continue going and you can get what it is you really want. And I hope you do. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with someone that needs to see it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.